Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. So the last video that I posted of me talking was me ranting about how I was struggling with weed addiction, and I wanna do a update because I finally fucking stopped smoking, and it's been like about a week now, and I just want to talk about how for me, cannabis doesn't serve me anymore. It was a medicine that I used for a very, very long time, since the age of about 15. I was using it here and there, and then when I was like 16, all the way until I was like 21, I was using it a lot. Especially in the years of like when I was 19 up until 21, I was smoking so much every single day, multiple times a day. I was probably spending like $200 a week on weed, and I would just be high all the time. And from then on, up until like I was 23, I was sober completely. I didn't use anything. So that I've gone back and forth multiple times of smoking and not smoking, and every time I stop, like as of recently, I experience so much benefit, and I just want to explain how smoking now for me really causes a lot of anxiety, and I realize this every time I stop. I feel so much more clear-minded, and I don't feel like I'm living in two worlds anymore. When I used to get high all the time, I would come down and then I would feel like a completely different person. And some people are fine, you know, they can use it and they can function, and that's really good for them. I am not one of those people. I tend to turn into a tweaker, and I have been battling, like for the past year, every time I would smoke, I hated it, and I didn't understand why I continued to use when I knew that it wasn't good for me. And I think this is one of the reasons why I would have negative effects when I would smoke. It would just make me go completely nonverbal. I wouldn't be able to communicate. I wouldn't be able to think properly, and I would create such an anxiety-ridden state for myself, and I would just be under the illusion that every single person could read my mind and that they also hated me. And this is so toxic, to be in this loop cycle of thinking that every single person around you is against you and hates you and just like can see all of your flaws, and that is not healthy. So I'm so glad that I finally stopped, and one of the biggest paranoia episodes I had was the last time I smoked, which was like a week ago, about a week ago, and I just don't see myself using this medicine anytime in the future, unless it's just like for medicinal purposes. So last time I smoked, I was with my friend Aiden, and we were just like hanging out in his car, and I'm like, yeah, let's get high. And then I just got too high, and I was like so out of it, and I asked him, I'm like, I want to go inside, like, can we get out of here? And he's like, yeah. So he opens the door so we can get out, and I couldn't move. I was just laying there like, oh my god, I am so stoned right now. I don't know what's happening. And then I just felt like he like kicked me out when I was the one that was like, can we go inside? Like, can we get out of here? And then I just like created this whole situation in my head where everybody was like against me and hated me. So I like went in my car and I laid down, and I was just tweaking out hard, and I was like, I want to go home. I don't want to be here. Everybody hates me. They all think I'm fucking crazy, and I just wanted to go home, but I couldn't drive because I was so high. And so that right there, I was like, I can't keep doing this. There's no possible way that this is good for me. And everybody's different, you know, everybody reacts differently to different things. And in the past, when I used to smoke all the time, I never felt this way. I feel like it helped me a lot with my anxiety and like social issues that I dealt with. It would make me more outgoing, and it was like a crutch for me to have to smoke before I did anything in order for me to feel socially available. And now it's the complete opposite. Like anytime I use cannabis, I just like cannot interact with other humans, and that's just not the way to live at all. And so anyways, I feel like my productivity is so much better, my thoughts are so much more clear, my abilities to create are so much stronger, than when used to smoke. I would get so scatterbrained and not be able to put my ideas into action. I think I really liked using because it would kind of spark this creativity in me where I would come up with these amazing ideas, but I wouldn't be able to put them into actual physical play for whatever reason. Yeah, so I don't know really what the point of me filming this video is. I just want to say that you kind of have to quit cold turkey. That's what I do every time I quit something. I can't do things in moderation. I am get very addictive, and I tend to like hyper fixate on something for a while, and then I have to cut it out of my life completely, or it sometimes it's unhealthy for me to use it all the time. Whereas I think some people are able to do things in moderation and only use a little bit or whatever, but I'm just not that type of person. So for me, I just had to stop, and I don't ever really experience withdrawal when it comes to cannabis. Maybe for like a day or two, because it's like a habit thing. It's not a withdrawal where I'm feeling symptoms of negativity because I'm not using. It's more of it's a habit and I'm not doing the habit, so my brain is kind of like, like why aren't you doing the thing? But yeah, so anyways, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling a lot better. I also have been being a little bit more active. Like smoking would kind of make me lazy, and I don't like being lazy. I like feeling productive. I like feeling as if I'm accomplishing things in my life, and I feel like smoking for me would make the days go by so quickly. And it was just a cover up, you know? It was a escape for me to not deal with certain tasks or try to mask my emotions or whatever. You know, this is how I used it in the past. Things would happen and I didn't want to deal with it, so I would smoke. And I thought that it was helping me, and it could have been helping me, but ultimately it was just taking me further away from feeling those feelings that I needed to process. And in doing that, things would pile up, like emotional baggage would form, and it would just push me over the edge, and I would just keep running further away from what I needed to deal with, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I guess if you're watching this video and you want to stop being addicted to something, you literally just have to stop. I don't know how else to say it. That's my advice that nobody asked for. And that's what works for me, and yeah, so I'm proud of myself for being able to say no. I also don't feel peer pressure. That's not really a thing. Like, nobody was ever forcing me to use this or pressuring me into doing it. I feel like peer pressure is not really a thing, you know? Like, maybe socially, like, oh, everybody's doing it, so I want to do it too. That's like the reason why I started smoking in the first place. I kind of did some evaluation with myself and was trying to get to the root of like, why did I even start doing this in the first place? And it genuinely was to like fit in, I think, and then also just to alter my mind. Because I was also really fascinated with altered states of consciousness when I was younger. I would obsess over learning about substances and how they affect the brain, because I just thought it was fascinating, because it is. And it is cool to like feel differently than you usually feel, and it's a fun part of life to, you know, change the way your brain works. And this comes with all substances like alcohol and all other drugs, and even just like endorphins and like our natural hormones change the way that we feel, and like dopamine and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of like why I think I started, and then it just became a habit, and then it just became something. I was surrounding myself with people who would smoke all the time, so obviously I was had it on easy access all the time. And it, when you're addicted to something and it's so easy to access, obviously you're gonna use it when you can. But now, like, I don't feel temptation when it comes to weed, and I think that's really good. That's really good progress that I've made, because in the past, like I just said, I was around it all the time, so it was so easy for me to just like use it because I wanted to. Yeah, so that's that for this video. I don't really know what the point of this was, but that's my update on my sobriety. Well, I don't even want to like call myself sober, because I definitely like use other things sometimes here and there. But yeah, weed was the main thing where I'm like, I can't keep doing this, and I don't know why I'm still doing it, but now I'm not. And yeah, so I'm only like a week clean from it, but I don't really see myself going back on that train anytime soon, because again, also, I would experience like weird physical symptoms when I smoked. I would just like instantly, my respiratory system would get so congested, and I would get really dried out, which is not something I used to experience in the past. This is like a new thing, and I think it's because my body was like rejecting it, so I was getting all these physical ailments that were really uncomfortable for me to deal with, which led into the social anxiety part, because I felt ugly when I smoked, and I don't like that feeling. I like to feel good. I like to feel pretty. I like to feel hot. I want to feel sexy. I don't want to feel self-conscious. And I noticed that for the past year when I've been smoking, it would make me extremely self-conscious and very hyper aware of my body, or like the way that I looked, and then also super hyper aware of my subconscious thoughts, which I thought was a really good thing, because I'm like, ooh, I can tap into my subconscious more, and I can like pick up on all this other stuff. But it was really just causing a lot of confusion and internal chaos within my body and my mind. So yeah, I'm feeling good, and yeah. Okay, bye.